Hey!
Just before we start with the video, I was having a normal day, writing a script for the next video, collecting data, preparing B-rolls, and then suddenly a notification popped up. So, Binod said so. So, I think we had to make this video. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the rest of the video.
So, it looks like you're kind of digging the Oneplus Nord. What if I tell you to cancel your pre-order right now? Yeah, go ahead, do it. I'm waiting. Done? Good job, buddy. Because right now you're going to experience the world's most simple phone. The no-nonsense phone, which does most of the things better than the Oneplus Nord and the iPhone SE. And that also without burning a hole in your pocket and giving you concerns about your security. And if you're a young creator and you can't afford to spend the big bucks into the camera and its accessories, the Pixel 4a might be the phone from the heavens for you. So stay tuned and let me show you. And this video will be mainly highlighting the SoCs or the processors. So if you want an in-depth review, you may click away from this one. You're in a market for a mid-ranger, expecting flagship like lightning performance. It's alright, we've all been through this. But if you have already pre-booked the OnePlus Nord, then you might have already overlooked the Pixel 4a and the iPhone SE, right? Because oh my god, has the OnePlus taken over the Indian market, but instantly selling out on pre-orders. I mean, they have acquired such a fan base. I mean, just give it a look at this popular YouTuber's unboxing and giveaway video.
Anita Cham says,
I love this phone. It's the best mid-range smartphone. It's just awesome. Little emoji.
Ashfaq Khan says,
everything was perfect on this phone, an amazing look.
and Sai Praneeth says,
Great phone with all-round specs at this point.
Sammy Khan says,
It's such an amazing smartphone at this price range. Little emoji, damn excited.
And just imagine what these people are actually doing.
Me how, Indian man.
Hello, Mr. Jinping.
You buy Chinese phone? You know what you need.
Here's my photos, my debit card details, credit card details, bank statements, personal contacts, conversations, phone usage behavior, browsing history, and basically all the coordinates of all the touch inputs on my phone screen and my Aadhaar card.
Haha, you gave it without even me telling. But no Aadhaar card. Don't know what to do with it.
NANI?! お前はもう死んでいる。
And if you're in India, you must not have considered the iPhone SE because it's way more expensive here. But if you're in the US, it actually costs as much as the OnePlus Nord, and that is $399. And the Pixel at $349. So let me quickly convince you why you should think again. Your first concern might have been the Pixel 4a's underpowered processor, the 730G, isn't it? But you should also consider the fact that unlike the OnePlus, the Pixel runs the purest form of Android, which means no custom skin over the basic UI. And that means it won't be sucking up that extra juice from the processor. But let's get into why you clicked on this video anyways. The SoCs, or the system on chips. Oh my god, are we going deep into the processors today. So let's start. The 730G versus the 765G versus the A13 Bionic. But before we start, just to let you know that the A13 Bionic is way faster and way more capable than the Snapdragons. But I'm gonna give you plenty of reasons why you should not consider the iPhone SE. You know what? First let's get into the Snapdragons and then let's battle out the winner with the A13. Okay, so let's start. First, the architecture. The 765G has one Cryo Prime clocked at 2.3 or 2.4 GHz, one Cryo 475 Gold at 2.2 GHz, and 6 Cryo 475 Silvers. clocked at 1.8 GHz. So what does this actually mean? The Cryo series of processors are actually the successor to Snapdragon's Crate series. But unlike the Crate cores, the Cryo cores are not Qualcomm's own design, but rather it's a semi-customer implementation of ARM's own Cortex cores. To know more about the ARM cores, just click on the I button, and also I have linked the video in the description where we have discussed ARM processors in depth. Well, Cryo cores usually come in two variants, the gold and the silver, denoting the underlined microarchitecture. The silver variant utilizes ARM Cortex-A's ultra-low powered series, while the gold utilizes ARM's high-performance cores, and the two cores are combined by ARM's Big Little or dynamic architecture. And the 730G, it has two Cryo Gold cores clocked at 2.2 GHz and 6 Cryo 470 Silvers clocked at 1.8 GHz. So the first difference is evident, it lacks the Cryo 475 prime core. Also, the difference between 470 and 475 base cores is that the 765G is based on 7nm architecture, while the 730G is based on the 8nm architecture. The 7nm architecture means the distance between the two transistors is 7 nanometers, and that means the 765G has more transistors per unit area, which means more processing power, because more transistors means more processing power. That's the lamest way to understand it. So was this explanation enough for you guys? Let me know it in the comments. I would certainly like to make a detailed video on Cryo cores. So you want to play some PUBG, Fortnite in your free time? The GPU is actually the one handling all the heavy lifting. The 765G has an Adreno 620, while the 730G has an Adreno 618. And the basic difference between these two is a 20% performance boost in the 765G's Adreno 620. But you know what? Both can run PUBG mostly at 60 frames. But for Fortnite, you might have to turn the settings down to medium to get a fluid experience. And make sure to let me know any other game that you would like me to use as a benchmark by commenting down below. The X52 modem in the 765G. And yeah, just to mention that the 765G supports 5G. And it can achieve download speeds up to 3.7 gigabits per second and upload of up to 1.6 gigabits per second. And the X15 modem is not actually capable of 5G. But the 730G can support a download speed up to 0.8 gigabit per second, while an upload speed of 0.15 gigabits per second. But you know what? These numbers actually are quite insignificant. And when was the last time you achieved a 1 gigabit per second download with your mobile ISP in India? And now, let's compare these to the A13 Bionic. Well, the A13 has two high performance cores running at 2.65 GHz called Lightning, and 4 energy efficient cores called. And yes, all these processors are ARM based. So once again, if you would like a detailed explanation of ARM based processors, click on the I button or the link in the video description. This architecture is actually flagship level because this very processor is used in much more expensive iPhone 11 and 11 Pro, 11 Pro Max, 11 Pro Max. I mean, comparing the A13 to the Snapdragons, it can play PUBG and Fortnite miles better than the Snapdragon. But with that 4.7 inch screen, best of luck finding opponents and tapping those buttons. Cringe. But is the processor the only thing you buy a phone for? I mean, look at the hardware. It's almost 6 years old. There's not even an OLED display, and it has an LCD at 60 Hz. But yeah, no doubt the iPhone SE is a very good phone if you want to get into the Apple ecosystem without spending the big bucks. And the conclusion is, although the 765G is a bit faster than the 730G, both the Snapdragons are not as quick as the A13. But Apple fails miserably with their historic hardware. Yeah, and if you have made this far, a like would be phenomenal. But getting back to what I told you earlier in this video, the SoC is not the only thing you buy a phone for. It's the overall package. The Chinese manufacturers have a very bad reputation of selling a phone which has top of the line specs at a dead cheap price. But there's a caveat because they compensate all the losses by showing annoying pop-up ads in the phone's user interface and browser. And mind you guys, it is so irritating. You know, just random ads popping from nowhere, sometimes in your notifications, sometimes in the browser. The most important and the worst part, you're literally handing over your privacy to the Chinese government because all the Chinese enterprises are bound to do so. But yeah, talking about the hardware, the Pixel's 4a's camera is so much better than the Apple's or the Oneplus'. The Oneplus has 3 cameras. And guess how many Pixel has? 1! Shocked, aren't you? But this one camera can take such killer photos. But just take a look at some posted by MKBHD. And if you can, just turn up the resolution to as high as you can. And even compare it to the iPhone done by SuperSaf, but it holds no good in front of the Pixel 4a. And the video processing too. And if you're a young creator, the videos from this phone can make you look high budget in no time. But you know what the bottom line is? If you're looking at the iPhone, you're probably planning to get into the Apple ecosystem anyway, so you're gonna buy an Apple product. But if you're considering a good value for money phone, a good package overall, go for the Pixel. Value your privacy. And with a stock Android, killer camera, and such good ergonomics, it's a way better phone to own than a OnePlus any day. Period. So if you like this video, make sure to hit the like button and share it to the people whom you think are planning to buy a new phone or the ones who have already pre-booked the OnePlus. And make sure to subscribe Diode Media for in-depth technology reviews. Do check out our social media for amazing tech memes, tech trends, and all the updates about Diode. And yeah, see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Nowadays it's all about this.